What is good, guys and girls? It's your boy, this dude here, and today we got another list. For you. This one's gonna be a little bit different though. Not only is it bigger, but it's wider. We're going for the breeders and the display artists alike. Some of these animals are gonna be good for breeding. Some of these animals are gonna be real good for displaying. Some of these animals might go well in both areas. Who knows? You decide. Let's get to it though. All right, you guys, coming in first on my list is the Central American Bandit Gecko. Now, Bandit Geckos, there's a couple species, and depending on which Bandit Gecko you get, the care's a little bit different. The Central American Bandit Gecko, rather, this is a nocturnal species that usually lives on like the jungle floors, spends most of the day burrowed in their hides. Nighttime they come out to do their thing. This is a very small animal, I think maxing out about 3.5, 4 inches, not getting too big. In fact, most of the bandit geckos are in the same area. Max about 3.5, 5.5, I think on your biggest end. I think the most common one is our Texas Bandit Gecko. It's very common in the hobby. The Central American Bandit Gecko is also common in the hobby. You can get both of these, but their care is literally totally different. So depending on which gecko you decide to go with, just do your research and make sure you give them the right environment. But the Central American Bandit Gecko, very small gecko. This is one that can be easily housed by itself in a 20-gallon or a 10-gallon, very small gecko. For us breeders, we'll probably go a bunch of 10 gallons. Right, so we can keep an eye on our animals, keep everything nice and clean, keep the males and females separated, pair them when we need to, and also so we can find eggs, right? We don't want to go putting small gecko, this breeders and display artists, we do things different for this reason, right? Now when we have these little geckos, we don't want to go putting them in these big 4-foot tall paludariums, giving them all these opportunities to lay these eggs that are tic-tac shaped. Trying to find eggs in a 4-foot tall paludarium is a nightmare, and this is why us as breeders keep things small in a lot of the cases, and it's just easier to maintain. But if you want to go big, you can. And remember, this is a nocturnal animal, so you might be able to do some cohabiting or something like that, right? Do something that's out in the daytime and then they're out at night, or however you decide, something that takes up airspace and then something that's on the ground, who knows? Or you can just leave the animal by itself and just give it a huge display enclosure, right? However you decide to go, I think these animals are perfect. For one, it sticks to the jungle theme that we're used to, and two, if you want to go getting into the breeding side, they're very small and easy to manage, right? Moving along. Now coming in next on the list, we have the Knobtail Gecko. Now I chose this gecko for a couple reasons. For us breeders, this is gonna be really easy to get into. The animal is readily available. I think there's 13 or 14 different species out there, and a lot of them are being bred in captivity. Very easy to find. But this is also a small gecko, maxing out about 3.5, maybe 4.5 inches, depending on which one you get. The care is gonna change a little bit, so do your research. But like I said, if you want to get into breeding, this is very simple. Get you a whole bunch of 10 or 20-gallon tanks, separate your animals. We can keep an eye on them, keep them clean, keep them fed, watch their weight and their health individually. Or if you want to go displaying, now I chose this animal because we're used to building the jungle vivariums, terrariums, paludariums. But this animal is going to give you the chance to build an arid enclosure. So if you want to display this animal and you want to go big, you get the chance to do like a desert-esque enclosure, like you would do for like a bearded dragon maybe, or your like sandfish skink or whatever. I don't know, right? But this gives you the opportunity to kind of expand the horizon and play around with different environments, and that's something I'm always for. Yeah, the Knobtail Gecko is readily available. They come in a huge variety of colors. Not too expensive, perfect for breeders. And if you want to display, it's going to give you the opportunity to do something different. Why not? All right. Now, coming in next on the list, we got barking geckos. And this is a species that is classified by their ability to vocalize. So there are quite a few. Some of them not so common. Some of them very common. But this is another one of those animals that the care is going to change depending on which barking gecko you get. I think even one of the knobtail geckos is classified as a barking gecko. So this is a kind of a big species of reptiles, or lizards rather, and just do your research on this one. But also perfect for us breeders. We could do the same thing we do with all the other animals. We could keep them separate depending on which ones you get. We'd do it the same way though. Keep them separated in smaller enclosures and just watch their health and their weight individually. Males and females, pair them when necessary. And yeah, one of these animals is very rare in the hobby though, like as far as the barking gecko goes. And then there's another one that's very common. I just threw this one on the list because I thought it was rather unique, something different that we don't see a lot. And yeah, wanted to give you an opportunity to do something. So yeah, see what you can do with that, barking geckos. Moving right along with the list, we got the neon day gecko. This is a very small day gecko. Maxing out, I think, at about 3 inches. Something it'll fit in the palm of your hand. In some cases, I feel like a 10-gallon enclosure with a lid, that's a no-no. We're gonna go with the Exoterra equivalent, the 12 by 12 by 18, because it has a lid that doesn't have it. Oh, and we're also gonna take the background out of it, right? But we want a lid that is sound. If you just have a top that sits on top of like a 10 or 20-gallon enclosure, dealing with a 2 to 3 inch long gecko, they'll be able to get out of that or get into the grooves, into places you don't want them to be. So like I said, we're not gonna recommend putting these in the 10-gallon enclosures, but rather the equivalents, the Exoterras, where you'll be working through the front of the enclosure, and you can once again watch the animal, keep the animal clean, healthy, and all of that. But I think this animal really would be better for display. The only problem with that is they're 2 to 3 inches, so you're probably not gonna find the eggs if you decide to put them in this big like 3 by 3 paludarium that's fully planted. It's got fish in it and bromeliads and pothos everywhere. You're probably not gonna see those eggs. And if that's not a problem for you, then that's okay, right? For us as breeders, we're supplying the market with happy, healthy, captive bred animals so people don't have to take them from the wild. And also so you get animals that are a lot less flighty, less likely to run and jump, right? So we do things a little bit different, but you could still breed these animals in a display enclosure if you're okay with just not finding the eggs and just collecting babies from time to time. That's completely fine. However you decide to do this, I think the neon day gecko is just perfect for breeding, for displaying, for both. And in some cases, you may even be able to get away with cohabbing this animal with, say, like, I don't know, dart frogs, something like that. I'm just trying to get your gears turning. My gears are turning, right? So and I think there's a lot of possibility when it comes to these small geckos and breeding and displaying. So this is one of those that can go hand in hand either way. You do what you want. Whatever you decide, I think would be okay. Just don't use one of those regular 10 to 20 gallon enclosures with the lid on top of it. They're gonna get out. Neon day geckos, absolutely beautiful. Perfect for breeding, perfect for displaying. I think it's just a perfect animal top to bottom. Now coming in next on the list is an animal I'm looking for myself. It's the webbed foot gecko. Another one of those desert species, very small, I think 2 to 3 or 4 inches max. Absolutely adorable little gecko. And like I said, I can't wait to get my hands on this animal and start working with it. Perfect for breeders. Once again, you already know what to do. Get you a bunch of 10 gallons, 20 gallons, line them up, get them set up, and let's get to work, right? This animal is a desert dwelling species. Once again, do your research. If you can find them, even let me know, right? I'm looking for them. But I think this is another one of those opportunities to do something different. You get to build if you're gonna display. And I think, me personally, if I'm gonna go breeding this animal, I'm not even gonna go the route of the 10 to 20 gallons, right? You can, there's nothing wrong with that. But me personally, I'm gonna go 4-foot enclosure. This is an active animal. They don't do any moving in the daytime, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. But this is a very active animal that covers a lot of ground, even though they're only a couple inches long. And I would like to give them the opportunity to explore that indoors, the same way they do outside. Inside, there's no predators. Now, right, they'll only be running into other females or things like that, depending on how the enclosure's set up. But this is an animal that I've been looking for a long time, and I think will be perfect for breeders because I can't find them. We need more people working with these. And if, like I said, you want to display, you get the opportunity to do something different, and this animal's gonna be up, I think, at night. All right, you guys, coming in next on the list, absolutely adorable, the satanic leaf-tailed gecko. Now, if you know anything about this animal, you know why I almost didn't put it on the list, right? This animal is notoriously hard to take care of, but the people who got it down, oh, they got it down. So who am I to doubt your skills? You could be one of those people. You could be one of those people up and coming. I don't know. So this animal is perfect for breeding. You keep them in small enclosures. You can watch them individually. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it's easy though, right? Like I know people who have taken their shots at breeding these animals and they're like, Smith, this isn't easy. This is an expert level animal. And this is an animal I would love to see in a big planted, I don't know, paludarium. I don't know how you would do that because this animal is only a couple inches long. I think all of them are only just a couple inches long. Now there are other leaf-tailed geckos that get bigger, 6, 7, 8 inches, right? That are a lot bigger, that look very good in these big paludariums, fully planted bioactive enclosures. But this animal is only 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches long. So once again, I'm not doubting you guys. I'm not doubting anybody. This is an animal I would love to see you pull it off. In fact, and if you do, post it. Tag me in it. I want to see it. All right, my friends, coming in next on the list is a wide range of geckos called house geckos. Depending on which house gecko you get, the care is gonna change a little bit, but these are all very small geckos. Well, I guess that depends on where you're at, because in some areas you say house gecko and it means tokay gecko, and that's not a small gecko at all, right? So, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna put pictures up for you so you can see. It's a very common gecko. House geckos, they're usually just on the wall, inside your house. Well, probably not inside. I live in Florida. House geckos have literally just taken over the world. They're everywhere, but depending on which one you get, the care is gonna change a little bit. Very small, 3 to 4 inches, perfect for breeding. Like I said, we can keep them in small enclosures, keep them separated from harm, watch them individually, or you can build something nice and big when they already have the whole world anyway. Why not give them the world? And while you're at it, see if you can come up with something to cohab them with. Frogs or maybe small turtles that might show up later on the list. I don't know. Who knows, right? But when it comes to house geckos, I think this is a perfect animal for a lot of people. When given a little bit of work, they're not as skittish as they usually are. They're very easy to handle. They get used to your presence. They're just amazing animals. So something to look into. You could still go big and bioactive if you want, or once again, like I said, you could take it into the smaller fields and breeding individuals. However you decide you want to go, house geckos I think are perfect for the hobby. Let's get it. All right, coming in next on the list, we have the yellow-headed gecko, or the yellow-headed dwarf gecko. These animals are absolutely adorable. There are a couple different species. Depending on which one you get is gonna depend on how you take care of it. Also, their coloration is a little bit different. Some of the males have like a reddish orangish head, right? And then your dwarf geckos, I think all of those males have the neon yellow head, more like a neon blue body. You can definitely tell they kind of know each other. Absolutely adorable animals, maxing out about 2.5 to 3.5 inches. Both males and females. Ready to breed about, I think, 7 or 8 months. From egg to about 7 or 8 months, they're ready to breed. It's relatively quick. They move fast. These animals are real small. Just go with the exoterior and you can work out the front. I guess more space the better, right? But these animals are very small. They're not really shy. Not really shy at all. They're gonna come out. They're gonna be out basking all the time. They're absolutely beautiful, but they're very, very small. Be something that'd be a good project to bring on to breed, to save us a little bit of space, and also give us the chance to work with these absolutely amazing animals, or go big and put them in a big old terrarium or paludarium. I think regardless which way you decide to go with this animal is okay, because they're not shy at all, and the males are just they're so full of color. Males are very, very bright. Like I said, some are having red heads, orange heads, yellow heads. The females are more like just regular. They look like just like regular geckos. They're just brown, white, you know, maybe some cryptic patterning on. They're not very, they don't stand out as far as the colors go. Those are gonna be your males. But once again, do your research when getting into this animal. But this would be another good animal that's good for either breeding or just in a display scenario, or you could just breed them in a display scenario, right? They're very small. Give them the world of nice big planted bioactive enclosure. Make sure you give them the opportunity to come out and bask like on rocks. They love basking on rocks for some reason. I guess that's just like native to their area. This is something I'll get into in the future. A very small gecko with a lot of character. Coming in next on our list, we have the musk turtle. Now this is a very small turtle. My friend, she just actually hatched a clutch of these. I just seen them like probably about 4 days ago, right? And these babies are the size of a dime. They are super small. I'm really curious as to how small musk turtle eggs are, right? I don't know how small these animals hatch out at, but this would be a really good project to get started. Now these animals, I'm not gonna recommend like we do with our reptiles, where we put them in these smaller enclosures and watch them and keep them clean. And like the musk turtle's a little bit different, right? Now in the beginning, if you get you a little baby, like I said, they hatch out at like the size of a dime, bro. So if you get you a baby, then it's okay. Use a little 10-gallon to kind of watch them for a while, but max these animals are about 3.5 inches, 4.5 inches. And I would just go ahead and go 40, 50 gallons. Just go ahead and go big, right? This will give that turtle the opportunity to live the life that it's supposed to live. And if you decide to give it like a little natural land section, like a naturally planted land section, you might have the opportunity for cohabbing. I'm not exactly sure, once again, but me personally, I would build a nice like 4 foot by 4 foot paludarium. I don't know. I'm thinking of introducing my male and my female green kill scale lizards soon, and if that works out, I want to move them into a huge enclosure paludarium, and I'm gonna need something for the water, right? And I don't know how it's gonna go, but I think about things like that, right? That might actually be pretty cool. Might work out just fine. Might not. Glass frogs, or you know, put different types of fish in there, shrimp in there. We want these animals to live a full life. So this animal, I'm gonna recommend that even if you are breeding them, that we just go ahead and put them on full display. A good project for anybody, right? They're common in the hobby, easy to find. It's an easy project to get started, not too expensive, but I think it would be really cool, just visually appealing and really rewarding, something to get into. And next up, we got the chameleon gecko. This animal is absolutely amazing, exploding in popularity. A lot of people are working with them now, making it a little bit more readily available. Nonetheless, this animal is just amazing. I think maxing out about 3 to 4, maybe 4.5, 5 inches. I think females get a little bit bigger. We're not gonna be cohabbing, so this is a perfect breeding project. Once again, get your exoterras, your 12 by 12 by 18s. Boom, boom, boom. Now, if you want to give this animal a little bit more space, I think it would be welcome. They're pretty active, but they're really chill. They handling very well. They're not going to be too flighty, jumping all over them. And this is a small gecko, right? A lot of these small geckos are very flighty, very fast. These animals are kind of chill. They don't mind it. In fact, they're just going to hang on to you and kind of just warm up and chill, right? They don't feel too much threat with a little bit of work, and I think that's absolutely amazing. So another good breeding project to breed in. Like I said, you can keep them in the 12 by 12 by 18s or go a little bit bigger. I think that would be better for both you and the animal. And if you want to go huge in just a huge display enclosure, I think that'll be awesome too. Once again, the animal's gonna use the space, but I'm not sure we're doing too much cohabbing here. I know the males, they do a lot of fighting, so maybe male and a female. I don't know. This is another animal, like I said, that I think is just absolutely amazing and good for breeding and or displaying alike, or just breeding in a displaying enclosure. You decide what you want to do. But this is one that I'm definitely getting my hands on and getting in and working with. I think these animals, I think there should be more available now. And once again, a few honorable mentions. We're gonna bring back leaf chameleons. That's an absolute must, right? Viper geckos, once again, small but can go big if you decide to. Dart frogs, jeez, like how could we not talk about them, even though this was a reptiles list, but still another animal that you could go small but go big. I think that possibilities are endless, right, when it really comes down to it. But just know that there's a difference between what we do in breeding and displaying. But sometimes those worlds collide and we can make them work together. Anyways, I'm your boy Smith. This is All Things Living. I'm glad you decided to come join me today. I know you could have been anywhere else on the planet, but you decided to be here with your boy, and that means a lot. Thank you. I'm out.